Our school is the Rawlett School in Tamworth, and it's one of 4 secondary schools in the local area. There's another one that's part of the AET Academy Trust as well. We have currently got 1,068 children on roll, and that is Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4, so Year 7 to Year 11. I think obviously over the last few years, linked to the gaps in knowledge, I suppose, and skills really with students because of COVID, we've had pockets of children who I think would already be behind their counterparts, but that gap has got bigger. We probably started My Tutor about maybe 5 years ago. It was before COVID. And it was recommended by somebody who worked in AET in the trust. He worked at that stage in a maths team. He still works in the trust now as like a really kind of positive tutoring provider. We started with our Year 11s, and like I say, the feedback from the students really has been really, really good. Our Year 9s, who just did the 3-to-1 last programme, they were so positive. So at the moment, we have no plans really to go elsewhere. My inbox is constantly filled with people saying, oh, you know, MTP funding, what are you going to spend it on? And I'm like, I'm not interested. We always started with disadvantaged students. So we had a real focus on pupil premium students. That then kind of widened a little bit when we were thinking about COVID and gaps, because it wasn't always, you know, the pupil premium students who kind of needed that support. With our 3-to-1, we started with that, but then we also looked very closely at teacher assessment. So we were looking at how well they were doing in English, maths and science in comparison to kind of age-related expectations. And also really, really important is looking at children who will engage. No problems whatsoever, to be honest. I think you're always available. Like I've worked quite a bit with James, Sophie as well, and nothing's ever too much. You know, I'll drop an email through, and sometimes I'm like, who am I emailing this to? And I'll just find a previous thread of an email and I'll send it through to them, and everyone replies all the time. We've raised a couple of queries once, and you guys go through the videos. You know, you raised an issue with us about some silly behaviour on one of the sessions, and then send the video through to us, and we deal with those kind of things. I'm a bit of a grumbler, if I'm honest. If something was going wrong, I'd be saying it. I don't really have any negatives at all. I just think we've got a really strong relationship, and it's kind of like we know what we want. You guys kind of know what we want, and we just work collaboratively to actually achieve that as best as we can. With regards to Key Stage 3 children, we send out kind of like questionnaires to the teachers to ask them how they're finding the students that are obviously on the tutoring. And what we found with the Key Stage 3 is that there has been, like, you know, kind of gains in the classroom with regards to knowledge, but one of the biggest things that's come out is confidence with the Key Stage 3 children. With regards to Key Stage 4, it's a lot easier to track progress because we track against mock exams, and on the whole, all of those children were moving up, in a positive direction there. A couple of girls who I can think of in our current Year 11s who their maths teacher was like, I can't believe how it's changed their perception of themselves and you know what they're actually capable of. And we often have the Year 11s then saying, well, you know, X has said that actually, you know, this is all right, we didn't want to do it at the start, but you know, the tutor's really good. Is there a chance I can do some of those sessions? It's about engagement. We know on paper the children that would benefit from it, but it's making sure that we do that big sell from the start. So we talk to students. We did like small assemblies with the target group. We then dwindled it down and did more kind of smaller groups, talking to them about it. We showed them what it looked like. We got students to talk to previous students who'd done it, to talk through the benefits. And then the other side of that engagement is parental engagement, explaining to parents actually why it's a benefit And I think sometimes the fact that how much this would cost if they were doing this themselves outside of school